What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Ben Thomas Show. Thanks for coming back. Today, guys, we're going to do it a little differently because it's Thanksgiving, but not for me here in Canada, for my American friends. But of course, I've got a lot to be thankful for. I've had some trials and tribulations this year that I don't know if many of you are aware of. So I'm going to share some personal stories of my life this year, but also I'm going to dive into some of the things I'm most thankful for in collecting. Because of course, this is a collecting channel. So guys, stick around. If you guys like the video, hit the like button for me. Smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. And let's get into it.
Oh, pardon me, but it's Ben
Thomas.
Showtime. Here we go.
Okay, everybody, welcome back. So I'll start with the things that I'm thankful for most this year in 2023, because there's a few things that may make me a little emotional, but I want to share them with you guys because you're part of my community. You subscribe to my channel for a reason, hopefully because you guys like the content mostly, but also because we're starting to build a bond. I'm starting to get to know you guys out there, and it means something to me. I appreciate that. So the first thing that I'd say that I'm thankful for this year is the support that I've had on this YouTube channel. It's absolutely astounding to me. When I started this journey about a year and a half ago, the reason I actually started a YouTube channel was because I really wanted to go on Marco over at 16 Fix's show. And I wanted to kind of have something to back me up. You know how the YouTubers always say, where can we find you, and all of the things. I felt like if I didn't have a place to actually send people, how legitimate was I? And I'd been collecting since 2010, so I'd been in the community for a long time. A lot like many of you that kind of watch at a distance, occasionally will comment, but didn't feel like I had really anybody I could talk to about collecting. So when I joined YouTube, it was so that I could stream with some people that were like-minded to me. Well, I have to say, over the time that I've been doing the show, we're now on the Ben Thomas Show at 2,500 subscribers, which is insane. I remember thinking when I first posted my first video, man, I hope like 10 people watch this. And I get it, the internet's a big place, but you never really know, right? And when I look at the views from the last year and a half, the Ben Thomas Show is at 621,499 views. So we're over halfway to 1 million channel views, and it's all because of you guys watching literally right now. And it's awesome. I appreciate it. It makes it more fun to do, to be honest. I think there's sometimes a bit of a misconception that YouTubers make a lot of money doing this. We don't. There's almost no money in this, but that's not what I do it for. I didn't do it for the clicks. I didn't do it for the subscribers. I did it because I really like talking about toys and the stuff that I think is really cool. And a lot of you, many of you, in fact, let me share a screen here. Many of you guys leave me wonderful comments every single day. I always thought the internet was going to be a bit of a scary place. I'm not going to lie. And it is sometimes. There are trolls. There are lots of negative people out there. We all know who they are. But then there are the folks that say great comments. Things that, like, not only has the show had an impact on them, they've enjoyed a piece of it, but they're willing to share it with me. And when I see things like from Martin Porter 5219, I enjoy your channel, keep up the hard work. You'd be surprised how much that actually means, because this stuff does take time and effort and thought to put together and all of the things in order to make it somewhat interesting. And when I scroll through the thousands and thousands of comments that come in every month, it's amazing to me how positive this community truly is. And I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful for you guys. And gals, by the way. There's lots of women in this collecting community that don't say a lot, more in the shorts community and the Star Trek community than I even realized, which is also very cool. So to the ladies and the gentlemen out there who watch, thank you for being a subscriber of the Ben Thomas Show and for watching and for continuing to watch. I'll continue to try and do my best to bring you guys some fun content. Now, I'm also going to share some personal stuff here. The beginning of this year, many of you may not be aware of this, but I was in a 6-year relationship and a 3-year engagement. At the beginning of this year, that relationship ended. And I am now 36 years old. I've been in this relationship for a pretty long time. And I was faced with this challenge this year of needing to figure out what comes next. What's my life priorities? Everything that I thought that I had earned, like a home and a fiance and those things, suddenly were coming apart at the seams. We had to sell the house. The relationship was over. And I was out here in Alberta, Canada, feeling very much by myself. Some of the people that connected with me and kept me the most positive and helped me get through that time were collectors. Legitimately. Now, some of them were closer than others. Some people just reached out for great support. Some people, like my friends over at Collecting Weekly, Zach, Dean, Marco, Eddie, Shane from One Six Figure Focus, some of the other folks out there, you know who you are. Calvin, Low-Key Collector, guys like Layal, Rockwell. I mean, so many people reached out to me in solidarity and support while I was going through that time that I honestly don't think I would have got through it very well otherwise. I honestly don't. And so in 2023, I'm thankful that I've made such wonderful friendships through something like the internet and YouTube. It blows me away, but it warms my absolute heart. The folks out there who've been in my corner from the beginning, my friends, I love you guys. Thank you for keeping a smile on this guy's face and keeping me going during this really tricky year. I'm thankful for my mom and my family. My mom had a cancer scare last year. This year she's in remission. So I'm thankful for her still being part of my life. I know a lot of us have lost parents and family, and that is something that I haven't experienced too much yet. But I know that time's coming, and I think while you have the opportunity, take as much time this year to hug your loved ones, to kiss them, to let them know that you love them back just as much as they love you and show you. Sometimes I'm not that good at that. Sometimes I don't call enough, and I don't text enough, and I'm a bit of a hermit, to be fully honest with you guys. Despite me having a YouTube personality, I'm a bit of a hermit. I like my own space. But I gotta do better with the family thing also, because I'm thankful to have such wonderful family who are supportive of my collecting, and were there for me during this last year of really difficult trials and tribulations, as Zach from Collecting Weekly over on After Dark might say. Now guys, I also want to say this year, I'm thankful for collectors within the community because of an event that got to happen this year, and it was really cool. So let me present this here. So another thing I'm really thankful for this year was the opportunity to get to go to San Antonio, Texas for the very first time in my life. Now, I will admit, I don't know if I would go back to San Antonio specifically. No shame to anybody that lives there, but I didn't find the place to be all that exciting. But what greeted me there were some of these bad boys. Let's be honest. Collectors within the community. Marco 16fix, Calvin Low-Key Collector. We got Feezy from Feezy's Figures. We've got 12-inch Moose Stream. Love this guy. So much fun to hang out with, I'm not gonna lie. These guys, Fern, Big Fern, Danny Lee. We're talking about OxCon 2023. Look at me here with Dean, the Dream Martin. I gotta tell you, getting a chance to sit in the car with this man and drive around for the first time after being on stream with him for a year and a half, after being a fan of Dean's before he even knew who I was. Kind of weird, fangirl moment, obviously. Getting a chance to hug this man was great. If you get an opportunity to come to OxCon 2024, I hope that you will, because look at the smiling faces from the community. I gotta say, you always wonder if the YouTube personalities that you watch are actually legit. Is that their real personality, or is this just their show personality? And I will say that everybody I met in this room, Cuervo, Danny, Calvin, Marco, Fern, Feezy, Eddie, everybody that was there, guys like Austin, guys like Collector Joey, guys, I can't even tell you how many people I met that were amazing people. And I'm forgetting names, honestly, as I go through. I didn't even get a chance to take pictures with everybody, unfortunately. But getting a chance to meet people in the community out there, Paul Schreiber in the photo in the back there, was phenomenal. And I wouldn't trade these friendships for literally the world. I would give my collection away if it meant that I got to hang on to more time with these friends. So guys, if you have an opportunity to do collector meetups in 2024, I would recommend it. It was really fun. They took me to Buc-ee's. I got some chocolate almonds. I was real happy about that. We had some really fun times, some really fun pictures. But honestly, some memories that I will remember, I think, for the rest of my life. Now, the other thing that I'm proud of and thankful for is some of the support around my fitness journey this year. Last year, I was a bit of a heavier set guy. I always have been. I'm a tall guy. I'm 6'2". Now, I know you guys may say this isn't heavy set, Ben, you don't know what you're talking about. And fair enough. But I've always been a little bit fearful of my health. And without having a relationship to rely on to say, hey, you look really good, I have had to rely on some of my friends to help support me, because as many of you probably know, if any of you are thinking about starting a fitness journey or already actively in one, sometimes it's more of the mental battle than the actual physical battle. I took this picture a week ago on the left, in comparison to about a year before. And in the photo and the year before, I was actually standing beside my dad, which is why I look so happy. We're actually standing below a huge dinosaur bone, which was also really, really cool. But I've been able to be in the best shape of my life during one of the hardest times of my life. And I honestly don't know if I could have mentally stayed strong enough to keep going if it wasn't for the support of many of the folks out there. Literally in the comments right here, you can see Malachi Watson, Brother Cousins Toy Reviews, Bob Dylan, Eddie Manzanares. These are collectors, guys. These are YouTube influencers. These are people within our community who are supporting me faster than some of my friends and family even. Mind-blowing. So let's stop it there with regards to what I'm thankful for this year. Collectors, my trip out to OxCon, my family, my friends, the YouTube community, the people who watch the channel and have subscribed, the over 500,000 views the channel's gotten this year, which is insane, so thank you. But there's two more life things that I need to say I'm thankful for, of course. One is having a great workplace to go to every day. YouTube is not my main job. I work for an incredible business. The people that I work for are caring individuals. I am well compensated for what I do. I am extremely thankful for that, especially in such a hard economy right now around the world. There's a lot of people that are having really hard times right now, and at Thanksgiving, I recognize that sometimes this can be stressful because we want to put food on our table. We want to be thankful with our families and our friends. And sometimes money is just tight. Being in the collector community, we spend a lot of money on plastic crack, right? And I love it. But we're also very fortunate to be able to do so. The last thing I'm very fortunate and thankful for is my cat, Elfie. Yes, I'm a cat dad. I know that's probably the nerdiest thing you're going to hear on this video today, but I absolutely love this little guy. He's not little, he's a 19-pound silver bangle. And after my breakup this year, he's been the most consistent part of my life. He gives me a reason to get out of bed every morning, feed him, clean him, keep him groomed, keep him happy, because he relies on me. I'm his cat dad. So I love this little man. If it weren't for him, there'd be many, many, many days that I don't think I would have even got out of bed in the morning. And he was waiting for me out in the living room, waiting for some pets and some playtime. So Alfie, Stinky, Bubs, little guy, Poos Poos, little shit, all of the names that I call you, I love your little face. Now guys, before we end the video today, I do want to address a couple pieces that have come to my collection this year that I'm thankful for. Now, this isn't going to be matching anybody's list out there, because some of these pieces are old school pieces, some of them are pretty new releases. They're not just from 2023. But the first came at the beginning of this year for me, and that is the in-art Joker. I am a huge Dark Knight fan. In fact, I think it's my favorite movie of all time. There's some that are getting close to that for sure, but Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker was mind-boggling to me. I saw that movie, I think I've got 14 ticket stubs counted of the amount of times that I went to the theater to see it, and I remember every time the film would end, I would get the chills, you know, the Disciple Guardian, the Dark Knight. Boom, chills every time. But Heath's performance as the Joker will stand out in my mind's eye as one of the best, not only movie performances of all time, but also one of the best villain performances of all time. Mark Hamill's Joker will also always be a huge favorite of mine, but as far as a collectible in my current collection, I love Heath's Joker. RoboCop from RoboCop 3. Now I will say RoboCop 3, not my favorite movie. I mean, let's be honest here. But with the Peter Weller mouth plates, pretty obviously, this guy suits the RoboCop 1 and 2 version, at least for me, well enough in my mind's eye. I don't display the box. Nobody needs to know it's from the third film. I don't use the jetpack, even though it's really freaking cool and actually very well detailed, I will say. But I really like RoboCop, and for as long as I've been collecting, one of the figures that I always thought would be really cool to have would be a die-cast Iron Man, which I have, the Mark 7, and a RoboCop. And now they both exist in the room with me here. So very, very cool. Got that in 2023. Peacemaker. I freaking loved the show. And when the Peacemaker was originally shown to us from Hot Toys, it was bad. The faceplate, it didn't look like John Cena to me at all. It had seams on the arms, like jointed arms. The body proportions didn't look right. And I was so disappointed because I friggin' loved the show. Well, Hot Toys updated it, and I got this bad boy pre-ordered like day one, dopo, whatever you want to call it, as soon as I saw that update because I knew I need to have it. And honestly, if this is one that's been on your radar, maybe you love the show but you didn't know if you should get the figure or not, I gotta say, this is easily one of my favorite characters in the collection and figures in the collection. So heck yeah, John Cena's Peacemaker. This Superman, Christopher Reeve's Superman, is of course a very old figure. It did not come out in 2023, but I got this from a fellow collector, the everyday collector, John, who used to stream with me over on Collecting Weekly a little bit there. He was generous enough to sell this to me this year as he's moving on into statues, and he heard that I wanted the Chris Reeve Superman. Now, of course, we've seen some teases from InArt that Christopher Reeve Superman is coming, and so I'll probably end up rebuying an InArt one as well. I mean, I had the DX11 Joker, and I loved that figure right up until the InArt Joker came, and I'm going to be the same way, I bet, with Chris Reeves here, but this figure still looks phenomenal in the collection. I love the colors. I've got him posed up actually beside right now my Wonder Woman 84, which again, not the same universe, but the color schemes go very nice together. Yes, I like it. I like it quite a lot. Now, also a collector within the community, Big Peps is what we call him, or Scott Bradley out there in the Hot Toys world, sold me his Jack Nicholson Joker this year and gave me an insane deal on it. Almost too generous. Like, if I didn't know Scott was such a good guy, I would have been like, am I getting scammed? This seems like too good to be true. But sure enough, came wonderfully put together figure. I absolutely love it. Considering this is actually a pretty old figure now. Again, this did not come out in 2023. It holds up. The Jack Nicholson sculpt is fantastic. And lastly, just for my thankful of the collection piece this year, was Locutus of Borg from X06. I know I give X06 sometimes a lot of shit, but I'm also a huge Star Trek fan, especially Star Trek The Next Generation. And two of my most favorite episodes of Star Trek The Next Generation have to absolutely be the last episode of Season 3 and the first episode of Season 4, The Best of Both Worlds Part 1 and Part 2. If you want to watch just some really good science fiction television and you know something about these characters, those two episodes are phenomenal. Getting Locutus of Borg finally in my collection after the only version I've had is the Playmates version, and I've got a Playmates version out of box and I've got a Playmates version still on original card. I always loved those Locutus figures. this definitely takes the cake. Absolutely it does. It's a beautiful figure. I will caution you, they do put foam around the neck when you first get it, but if you pull the head off, there is a risk of pulling out the tubes on the back of the body, because I did it. Yeah, I was not careful enough, so be careful with that. But guys, obviously, I'm just thankful to be in the world of collecting. I'm thankful for everybody that's watched this video, for my family, for my workplace, for everything that I mentioned up till now. I'm also thankful for some of these awesome collectibles that got to come into the collection this year. I think this year for Christmas, I'm gonna buy myself the DeLorean. It's been in and out of my basket all year, and I'm finally getting a little bit of commission from work, and so I'm gonna, I think, get that bad boy in my collection. And a friend of mine may help me unbox it. She was extremely excited to hear that I'm gonna buy it. Back to the Future is one of her favorite film franchises of all time. And so you may get a chance to meet one of my friends during that unboxing as well. But guys, let's say, with that said, happy Thanksgiving. Take the time, love your family, love your friends, hug the people who care about you, hug the people that reach out to you. Thank you for being such a generous community with me and my channel. I hope that you enjoyed this more personal video just with me today, hanging out with you guys and getting a chance to share some of my life of 2023. It's not going to stop there. I've got lots more planned for the Ben Thomas Show. If you guys want some show merch, we've got a Ben Thomas Show t-shirt that's available on TeePublic. The link is in the YouTube channel at the top corner. I also have a Let's Get Nuts logo on there now as well. So if you guys like the Sunday live stream Let's Get Nuts, you can get merch from Let's Get Nuts that was created by Dean the Dream Martin himself over at Collecting Weekly. Guys, with that said, thanks for watching. If you guys liked the video, hit the like button for me. Smash the subscribe if you're new to the Ben Thomas Show. And with that, have a great evening. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Wow, what a great audience. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, because subscribing makes you feel good.
In case I don't see ya. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.